Another wild week in the Big 12. Let's go ahead and dive into our Big 12 power rankings. Starting with you, Anthony Totri. Let's go to the bottom, a familiar face, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they've been here pretty much all season. It is Oklahoma State. Now just one more opportunity to get their first conference win in 2 years. A bad stretch for the Cowboys. And then at 15, no change here. Colorado played Arizona State tough through the first 3 quarters, but couldn't find a way to keep it close in the fourth. They got blown out. At 14, though, we have a new face, and that is your despised Kansas Jayhawks. They come off a 38-14 loss to Iowa State. Now just a game away from still trying to get that bowl eligibility. And then at 13, Baylor, very similar to that Colorado game between Arizona State and the Buffs. Arizona and Baylor, man, they played tough for 3 quarters, but Baylor just completely got blown out late in that game. Baylor coming in at number 13, Rubis.
We finally did it.
We finally have the same 4.
Did it. We finally did it. Starting at 16 for me, it's the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Almost as impressive as going undefeated for 2 seasons. They're pretty close to going defeated for 2 whole seasons in the Big 12. 15 Colorado, 14 Kansas, 13 Baylor. Totri, it took until our final week of regular season Big 12 power rankings, and we finally agreed on the bottom 4 teams in the conference. Wow.
Look, man, it didn't matter, when we got here. It's not how you start. It's how you finish, Rubis, and that's how we finish with the same 4. Let's see if we can get another 4 in unison here. Coming in at number 12, I have UCF after their lackluster win over Oklahoma State. And then at number 11, congratulations, West Virginia. You didn't lose this week, so you move up. Number 10, I've got Kansas State. Man, I think you called them maybe the weirdest team in the country or the weirdest team in the conference. I agree, dude. They were just, they had every opportunity to beat Utah. They lose a heartbreaker, 47-51, and they drop to number 10. And then coming in at number 9, a team that just hasn't been the same since a month ago, really. And that is Houston coming in at number 9. I know that they are an 8-win football team, but they're not playing like it. And these are power rankings, not standings. Houston, they continue to fall off a cliff, Eric.
We were so close. Totri. Look, at number 12, I've got UCF just like you. Wow, what a win for them. Number 11, West Virginia, same reasoning as you. They don't play, they move up. At number 10, I got Houston. Kansas has been the ire of my eye recently. Houston might be taking the cake. Not only am I mad that this is a team that beat Arizona State, this is a team that can't get out of their own way. I mean, they have looked awful the last couple of weeks, and they had 2 missed field goals, including one in the fourth quarter, to lose their most recent game to TCU, who just got dog-walked by BYU last week. At number 9, I've got Kansas State. They stay the same for me despite a loss, simply because was that the most points anybody's put up on Utah this season? If not, it's got to be close. Putting up nearly 50 on the road against Utah. I mean, that is an impressive game, even if it comes in a loss, a much more impressive game than what Houston played against TCU. So I've got them at 9. What about you? Where are you going at 8?
At number 8, I'm going to the team that actually beat Houston this past week, and what was a stinker, right? 17-14. Give me TCU. This is a team that is 7-4 on the season. I don't know if anyone's had a more roller coaster type year than the Horned Frogs, but they come in at number 8. At number 7, Cincinnati. It feels like it was years ago that we had the Cincinnati Bearcats in the top 3 of our power rankings, but another team that really just hasn't been the same. They don't move after that loss to BYU, but man, they didn't do themselves any favors. And then coming at number 6, it's what's left of Iowa State. It's been a team that's been beat up and banged up all season long, but it doesn't matter. They find ways to win football games. They're coming in again at number 6 after that 38-14 win over Kansas. And then number 5, the last team just outside of our top 4, Eric, is the Arizona Wildcats. Again, this is heating up to be one hell of a territorial cup game on Friday between Arizona and Arizona State. I've got to give Arizona some credit. They blew out Baylor in that second half. Wasn't pretty at the start, but they found a way to get that win. They come in at number 5.
We again are so close. We do have the same four teams, Totri, but in a different order. I've got TCU at 8 as well. I thought it was still a good win for them. Any win at this point is a good win for them. At number 7, I have Iowa State. I had them, I think, a little lower than you going into this week. So I have Iowa State moving up still, but only to that 7 spot. At number 6, I've got Cincinnati. They stay the same for me as well, just at a higher spot and also staying the same. I put Arizona at 5 last week. They're going to stay at number 5. Yes, it was a very impressive win, but I don't think that any of the teams ahead of them did enough to drop down to put U of A in the top 4. So that is where I stand up until my top 4. So clearly, Totri, we have the same 4 teams on every single row, which I think is pretty good. We don't talk to each other before
Look at
this.
us.
But what order? What order do you have the top 4 teams in the Big 12 heading into the final game of the season?
It's the same order that I had last week, and it's the same order in terms of chances to make the Big 12 championship. Coming in at number 4, Arizona State. We've already talked about it. Wasn't the prettiest first 3 quarters against Colorado, but all that matters, Eric, is that final score. 42 big ones for the Sun Devils in their win over Colorado. At number 3, I've got Utah. Look, they were dancing with death for a second with Kansas State, but ultimately Devin Dampier and company did enough to get the job done. They're at number 3. BYU coming in at number 2. They take care of business against Cincinnati. I mean, a 10-win football team. They absolutely deserve to have their names pretty high up in those CFP rankings when they come out on Tuesday. And then number 1, the king stays the same in the Big 12. It is Texas Tech, despite not playing this past week. At this point, there's not really anything that can be done from the other schools to really dethrone Texas Tech and what they've done to this point in the season. They sit atop the Big 12.
Yeah, look, they say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But on this case, we did it the same way. We start with the same 4, we end with the same 4. Arizona, Utah, BYU, Texas Tech, my top 4 in the conference as well. Those are also the only 4 teams who still have a chance to make the Big 12 championship. Plenty can still happen this upcoming weekend. So make sure you keep your eyes, of course, on PHNX Sun Devils as they take on the number 5 team in the conference, according to our power rankings, in the Arizona Wildcats in another Territorial Cup matchup. We'll have coverage leading up to that game, plus a pregame and a postgame show on this very channel. And then, yeah, you'll have to keep an eye on the rest of the Big 12 as there are still a lot of different championship game scenarios, and we'll have you covered reacting to it, talking about it all right here on PHNX Sports. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us at PHNX_Sun Devils for all your ASU news and notes, and we'll check in with y'all very soon.